Pressure is a concept we feel every day, from the air surrounding us to the way our feet press against the floor. Fundamentally, pressure is defined as a normal force, a direct push spread out over an area. We express this mathematically as P equals F over A. If the force stays the same but the area changes, the pressure must change as well. Think of a 150-pound person. When standing on 2 feet, their weight is distributed across both shoes. But if they stand on just 1 foot, the force remains the same, but the area is halved. Consequently, the pressure doubles. This is why snowshoes work. They don't make you lighter, they simply spread your weight over a much larger area. To measure pressure, we need a 0 point. The difference between absolute and gauge pressure is simply where we choose to start counting. Absolute pressure is measured relative to a perfect vacuum, a state where there are absolutely no atoms and 0 pressure. Gauge pressure, however, is practical. Most tools are calibrated to read 0 in our open atmosphere. Think of a mountain hiker. Your absolute height would be the distance from the center of the Earth. But your gauge height is relative to the floor you are standing on. If you're on the 2nd floor, the gauge says 0. A tire gauge sitting on a shelf reads 0, despite being pressed by 14.7 pounds of air every square inch. To find the absolute truth, we simply add the atmospheric pressure back to the gauge reading. Let's say your gauge reads 32 psi, and the atmosphere is 14.3 psi. The actual absolute pressure inside that tire is the sum, 46.3 psi. What happens when pressure is lower than the atmosphere, like when you suck through a straw? We call this vacuum pressure. It is the missing pressure compared to the atmosphere. Why use 2 systems? In deep science, we use absolute pressure. Nature only cares about the density of particles. Engineers, however, prefer gauge pressure, because it represents the stress on the walls of a container. If the pressure inside is the same as outside, the gauge reads 0, and the tank walls feel no bursting force. To summarize, absolute pressure starts at a vacuum. Gauge pressure starts at the local atmosphere. So remember, the difference is simply the reference point. So, the next time you check your tires, remember, your gauge isn't ignoring the atmosphere because it's broken, it's just starting its count from where you're standing.